They didn't invest anything. They went for the eco. He had to save it towards the end there because they used it so passively. T-sided AWP on this isn't something you can normally get away with too much. And then, you know, while I'm criticizing that, within the 8-1 scoreline, the first half, he was instrumental. He was setting the pace. He had that one round where he came out of apps with the Mac 10, 3 huge kills. I think it was ace for the round. He was leading by example. As soon as he wasn't finding any impact on the T side, everything kind of fell apart. The FaZe guys all fired up. They got involved. They made the kills they needed to, and it seemed like business as usual.
It certainly did. I mean, it's interesting you talk about Croman as well. You mentioned him. He had a spectacular series. He's not carrying, but I mean, he's head and shoulders above the rest on the scoreboard in every category, and that makes me very happy, actually. I mean, I saw a fun stat there that he's owned like over 5 times the amount he's earned in his career with FaZe just standing in. But I mean, take that with a pinch of salt. That's of course standing with both FaZe and Heroic. And prior to this, he's probably played in a couple of DreamHack Opens, and nothing too much to write home about. I'm talking about the Open Opens, the BYOCs. I mean, we haven't seen too much from his Norwegian roster, so still cool. But this is a huge platform for him to put himself in that shop window. Yeah,
for him being able to hold his own and then top frag against Space Soldiers, who were very impressive yesterday. I don't want to say they've been exposed here because going into Mirage is the second map, they're more than proficient. I was just having a quick look at their LAN results on this map this year, and I must be confusing all of their Pro League games because I thought they were pretty good, but on LAN, it's a 50-50 split, and this is against the likes of like Rogue, Heroic, Optic, Fnatic, Godsend, and Team One. So they're not necessarily world beaters on this map at all.
Okay, and just Madja, we have a couple of conversations to be had about him because this is the in-game leader, right? And now, Maniac, you're aware of Madja. You know more. You've played with him, or at least you understand. You've got a lot of history behind him.
No, I did. I know him for a long time.
Yeah.
I played with him for a bit, and I think his evolution as an individual is probably what made Space Soldier took the step to the next step. Because for a moment, I felt that he had a very good tactical understanding of the game, always has had. But he was lacking in terms of frags, he was lacking in terms of firepower. But at the moment, actually, he's pushing. He's pushing with Space Soldiers. We could see like he had a very good first day. Even there, ST finding a lot of improv frags, as you said. So I think his evolution is part of why Space Soldiers now in the bigger leagues, put it this way.
For me, it's just a hard one because he shouldn't have to be the one being assertive all the time for the Space Soldiers roster, right? They need other players in this team to be going in and getting those early kills because, sure, he is a very good player and he's, you know, showing that here, and he did that in the first half of the first half. But this is where you want your Zentaras and your Calixes of the world. I know that they're more not slower players by any means, but they seem to do more in the mid rounds to late rounds. You want those kind of guys to be alive to close out.
Sure.
But someone needs to be opening up rounds when Major isn't able to do so, and that's what happened towards the end of the first half.
And on this map, I mean, the fact that two of your 3 hard hitters weren't hitting is a huge problem. Yeah, Calix and Paz struggling to break double digits. We'll see if they can do different on Mirage. But FaZe, Mirage, this is a rather deadly combination, Maniac. I mean, this is one of those maps where there does seem to be a bit more scary depth to FaZe's gameplay.
No, I agree with you. I think this is scary. When I looked at the first half of the first half in Inferno.
The quarter, we'll call it the quarter.
No, but, you know, I had this feeling that maybe Space Soldiers in the zone, in the momentum, something can happen, definitely. But then again, the way FaZe took the matters in their own hand, going into Mirage, knowing like the way they play. Once again, we saw Croman extremely good ST just because they play simple Counter-Strike. They go for trades, then they just utilize those situations 3v3, they just win them. And I think Mirage is a good environment for that. So it's looking bad for Space Soldiers, in my opinion.
It's not looking good. I guess if you look at the 2 results that this team with Croman have actually had on Mirage, it was just the ECS just not long ago.
Versus who?
Here we go. Luminosity, they beat 16-1.
Yeah.
And then they played G2, not known to be a Mirage team, at 16-10. So they got pushed a little bit more on that. But, you know, in terms of FaZe and the rest of the guys, Croman just has to be an anchor. He doesn't really have to do anything absurd, right? He has the rest of the guys around him.
I think he did it on Inferno. I think it's someone else's turn now. The likes of Guardian, Nico, Rain, I'll just keep listing them off. Karrigan, you know, we'll just do the whole roster. Never mind. I think Croman's definitely done his fair share. But do we see a third? Anybody siding with Space Soldiers, or are you feeling a bit demoralized after Inferno?
I mean, my heart is with Major, my good friend, really. But no, I think this is it. I think FaZe taking it 2-0.
Oh, I can see this one going all 30. The full 30.
Okay, why?
But I think, you know, Space Soldiers, in terms of, you know, that first map not really going in their way, they did have a very strong start. And I know that their Mirage, they have a lot of good T-side strategies, right? And the fact of the matter is they're going to be starting on that CT side where their weaknesses were in the Inferno matchup. I think they can turn that around on this one and give us a little bit more fireworks.
Hopefully it's a show to be put on here by Space Soldiers. They're on the ropes going up against FaZe Clan. A spot in the semi-finals on the line. We'll jump back in with your casters. Let's see what's going down in Chinatown. It's going to be none other than Harry and Tom Bits.
Yeah, indeed. They looked pretty unfazed there over on the side of FaZe. Space Soldiers, meanwhile, struggling toward the latter end of the first half, and then that just continued to be a pattern that emerged here on Mirage. It's a pretty middle ground map for both of these teams, I think. But we're going to be getting into this one very, very swiftly. FaZe over on the T side, Nico and Carrigan donning utility. Carrigan actually dropping over a P250 to Guardian as well. They're going to be throwing some of this out. Carrigan actually goes running into this A bomb site, trying to sell this fake, and it has baited some rotations out. Major's going to get discovered, and Carrigan finally dropped. 3 players towards B very, very quickly. Pass tagged down, finished off by Chrome, and Engine going to fall as well. Oh, it's a slaughter. Just Calyx left alive, 1v4. And this round looks like it's going to be going the way of FaZe. Now, an interesting stat, Tom, that came up was in that in the event so far, Croman's won 85% of his opening duels, which is unreal.
Yeah, that's just disgusting. It just shows, like, I think that's one of the differences, even as, well, like, him as a stand-in, but just in general between these two teams. It was sort of mentioned on the desk that we saw Major taking a lot of the aggression. The fact is, Croman is just so confident taking those opening battles. It's something that, especially as a stand-in, if you're just sent over to one of the sites to take that opening battle, like take the fight, actually works very, very well, because it basically means he's just playing off his own individual skill. There doesn't need to be a huge amount of communication. Okay, maybe there'll be a pop flash or something, but I'm sure that's something that he can work out. If somebody says, I'm going to pop flash you over here, it's not going to be anything too complicated, and it means that as a role for a stand-in, it's actually quite a nice position to play.
Well, forced buyout for Space Soldiers. Zentara's already going to get toppled down here on short. Ooh, Major. Deep within T-spawn. His feet heard by Nico. Maybe that could have transpired to something more had he been a little bit more discreet. It will just be 2 Deegs and a CZ up on Engine, smoking a flash between them, and hopefully they can find something here. For those of you who are just joining us, you missed a 16-9 over on Inferno, the map pick of Space Soldiers, meaning FaZe are currently up 1-0 in the series. Now moving into Mirage, that's their map pick, and they've won the pistol, looking to try and convert these first 3, and it looks like they should, unless Calyx and Paz with these Deegs can do something spectacular.
Yeah, I'm not so much of a believer, especially now that they've pretty much spotted that both players are over towards the B side of the map, so probably just going to want to try and keep those into the next round. We will see probably not too much of a hunt coming in from FaZe Clan, considering every single player is actually holding a rifle, so not too much worth risking, but actually, wow, okay, Chrome is actually going to go and take the fight, so he will lose one of those Galils, at least a little bit more of a cost. It looks like the remaining players are actually looking to try and do the same, maybe catch out somebody along the way. Of course, leaving them with nothing into the next round would be nice. Paz desperately wanting to try and get that Galil, and he does. I wonder if Rain spotted it disappearing. Yes, he did. And while Calyx is only left on 13 HP, but he still actually hits another shot. This has become more costly than it really needed to. Not going to get the final one onto Nico, and they will eventually remove all the weaponry available, but yeah, it didn't seem too necessary for FaZe Clan. Maybe just trying to assert some dominance.
So it's going to be interesting to see how much economic crux now that they have comes back to haunt them. This round will just be the flat eco from Space, so we'll just have the one flash on Calyx. Maybe they're going to go for the aggression out in mid. 3 players heading there early on. That does look to be the case. Major instantly fragged over towards ramp, and all these UFPs now hoping to try and find something, and they do. They find bullets, lots of bullets. Sadly, it's sort of just riddling the entire cast of Space Soldiers. So 3-0 lead for FaZe, but now the buy comes in. Major's going to have the AWP out straight away. I personally am a big fan of watching him with this weapon on this map. Whenever I've seen them play it, he's been pretty key to their success. So having that early on definitely to come in handy, especially as when you look over at FaZe, they've decided to not get Guardian on the AWP just yet, instead opting to go for the bonus round here.
Just going to try and just go for an aggressive push, but it's actually going to be Major already finding the opener with that AWP. Calyx with another, and while the CT side are just absolutely slaughtering FaZe in this scenario, it will just be Nico and Karrigan remaining. Xantares already picks up one of those and drops the bomb in the open, so it looks like this could be utterly flawless unless Nico, well, it is Nico, can make this a bit more costly. They do have plenty of money to go into the next round, although Rain is in a little bit more of a detriment. He's just going to be waiting patiently. A lot of time left. He can just look to try and wait to see if anybody is going to face him. Still some utility for Space Soldiers if they do want to take a bit more of a peek onto ramp, but they really don't have any reason to. An Engine even going to come in on the flank and execute. And flawless from Space Soldiers, a great way to kick themselves into this one.
Yeah, that's the sort of confidence boost you need after the previous map. This is an interesting one, though, for a lot of reasons. Partly because I think, Space Soldiers is very, very good. So whenever I've seen them play, right, the calls I think the Major makes on this map, I always think are pretty bang on. But not only that, they're very, very good technically, right, in terms of like mechanically rather, in terms of their aim. They're like a talented bunch of aimers. But the other reason I'm interested is I'm curious to see Croman on this map. This is one where you can afford to be a bit more puggy, you can be a bit more basic, and for a stand-in, as someone who's been putting up numbers like Croman, this could be a bit of a playground for him. Guardian's leading the charge over here at B anyway. I'm going to go boosting Rain up. It's the Norwegian boost. Sounds like a dance move. Maybe it is. Smoke goes down in the window. That's going to block off the vision from Xantares. Major waiting in the jungle. Go back through CT, attempts to join up with Calix. Paz will be Molotoved off the angle. It's short. This is going to give them a brief window to start to aggress up through connector. Space Soldiers already positioned brilliantly there to try and shut this down. 2 players over in CT. Major does get toppled by Guardian, but Xantares waiting in the smoke. Calix going to find one more, and now Xantares pounces on out from the smoke through the jungle. He emerges. 20 seconds left on the clock, time ticking down for Nico and Guardian. It's crunch time. They have to get a move on, and all 4 players here for Space Soldiers. There should be no way for them back into this round. Smoke does come out from Guardian. He's going to try and take the fight. Manages one, Nico. It's going to fall at the hands of Paz. A quick double from him. And Space Soldiers now back with a second round, and they've dwindled the economy of FaZe down low.
Yeah, I think watching Xantares play over towards his connector spot, he is one of my favorite players, especially when he's having just one of those games. He's very happy to go aggressive, and well, you can just see he controls that split very nicely indeed. We are going to see T-side just with some small investments here. Xantares again towards that connector is going to be doing a lot of damage. Is not really expecting FaZe to do too much in this round. Hopefully just trying to drop a player or two just to try and make things a bit more costly. But no, Space Soldiers again, they keep that one relatively clean. They build up quite a lot of cash considering it's only been 3 rounds for them so far. And they have built into this CT side with a strong start. Now, this is where FaZe should get themselves a buy back onto the board, and may even have enough to get an AWP in onto Guardian, but I think it would be Glass. Oh no, actually he does have enough. Never mind, he has exactly enough, in fact.
Maths fans around the world rejoice. A little bit of utility as well, but I'm going to go for the run boost. Guardian at the top. Oh, spotted out, lands the shot. Xantares goes down. Whew, hopefully we get a replay of that one. We saw it from the cinematic cam, and now I'm ready for the technical aspect of it. Still, Manifire taken, spectacular fashion. Guardian loves a run boost. The amount of times we've seen him open something up on the back go on almost feels a bit ridiculous. And he's not content with just the 1 kill. Even going to drop the AWP for Space Soldiers. Major now falls inside of this B bomb site, meaning all the pressure is on the back of Paz. Weight of the world on his shoulders. That might be too much to bear, but right now he's standing up to the challenge. He's going to go ahead and drop another. That's the bomb. Oh, Paz is just lighting up the scoreboard left and right. 1 HP now to his name. He's still a threat as he lies in wait. Guardian attempting to walk on by, and there's a lengthy flank coming through from Nico. You can see he's all the way over inside of that A-bomb site. Guardian holding out for a hero. That's going to have to be Nico. The amount of time this man has been the one to bring heroics. FaZe does inspire some confidence still. He's going to go for the short boost spell. Now that's going to cost them precious time. 25 seconds and Paz still hanging around here despite being on 1 HP. They have nothing to flush him out with. 15 seconds on the clock, time ticking low. Nico manages one. And now Paz is the only one inside of this bomb site. He's already gone above and beyond for Space Soldiers. Can he do any more? Surely not. He's going to manage to find Guardian and Nico as well. Paz gets everyone. 5 kills, the ace locked in. As single-handedly hauls Space Soldiers through that round. And now they're going to take the lead as they go up 4-3.
Yeah, pretty damn good round coming out from Paz, able to just lock down this site and, well, no trade in sight for the FaZe. They looked like they had that one in the bag at the beginning of it with the 2 opening picks coming in from Guardian, but clearly it was not enough. They are just going to have to go in with some pistols here. The loss bonus has built up behind them as it has been 4 rounds in a row, so the maximum will be gracing our screens into the next. And while this is all just going to be an elaborate ruse, trying to bait some players around as the bomb currently sits in the apartments. It hasn't worked. Engine is still waiting. Although, looked like there was a temptation there, but yeah, the fake hasn't really done anything at all. Still got Nico waiting over towards ramp, trapped behind a smoke. But, well, there shouldn't be any hope for them here. And actually, Space Soldiers on the CT side so far at least have looked pretty good. Even the turnaround in the last round, it shouldn't have happened, really. Nico with the Deeg. Can't quite do anything versus Calyx. And, well, Guardian hoping to try and sneak in towards the end and plant that bomb, but with no kills, there was no way anybody was going to be rotating off.
It's an impressive start right now from Space Soldiers. Pause called on in. Tactical timeout from FaZe, and I think justifiably so. They win the pistol. They managed to convert the 2 anti-ecos, and since then it has been the Space Soldiers show. Major, who was the star back on Inferno, at least in the early stages of their run. With only 1 kill of his name, it's been Paz and Tares lighting up the scoreboard for Space Soldiers. Calyx as well, making a recovery. And I actually watched these guys play recently at the ESL One Cologne qualifier.
He was on 1 HP when he got both those kills.
And Chad was a very big fan of how Space Soldiers play this map. He got very, very excited by everything they did. He especially liked the calls that Major makes. I think has a very good understanding of how this map should be played.
Ooh, actually, Guardian doesn't spot through the flames. It's actually Major to find that opening pick with the AWP. Rain looking to try and pick up the pace a little bit as he will jump into the window. The question is, how far can he get? He snuck all the way through. This could be a big, big problem. Zontares has come in from behind, but the problem is he's wrapping all the way around towards this CT spawn. This could leave Major hung out to dry, and well, the only real problem will be getting that bomb through. How much time is Rain going to take? Looking to try... Oh, this is brilliant. He spotted out Calyx, executes both of them. That completely opens up the site. Nico then finds one more in the form of Zontares, and Rain has single-handedly won this round for his team, although Engine trying to get back in, but he's left into a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, it's just not happening for him. Tom, you're the man with the pun gun. What would be a good one-liner for Engine? There's so many in this sort of situation. You know, I'm giving you like a he's down, he's out.
I don't know. I don't know.
Normally you're so good. Normally you're so ready, Tom.
Yeah, but it's like you can't force them.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
True.
If you force them, it's not as fun.
That is true, Tom. I'll give you that. Well, he's yeah, no, you're right. I'm not even going to try now. I've done that. He's just going to get to hold on to the M4. tagged up once, but that's it. 3 players surviving for FaZe. Money continuing to build up over here on the T side. And as you say, it was his play from Rain. Gets himself into such a strong position. And he's so very, very good at that. I mean, we saw it's kind of been a bit of a trait for everyone on this FaZe roster, is even if you think back to Inferno, their ability to get into these unpredictable, unprecedented sort of angles where no one is ready on the side of Space Soldiers for it. And this time, I like the switch up. Call comes in from Carrigan to make this a fast play. They're just going to go rushing in towards the A-bomb site. A set piece. Wall of smokes goes down. They leave CT open. Calyx going to manage one. Rain straight away on the trade. Deals with both Calyx and Zintares, 2 of the hard hitters for this roster. He's not content with that, though. Toying with the idea of playing through his own smoke down in CT. He will find himself going toe-to-toe with Major if he continues to aggress. Rain. Not content with not being the highest fragging Norwegian on the roster, has really stepped up here on Mirage. He's going to have Major. Slowly but surely coming in, looks away, missed shot. Major, big shot to miss, as now Rain given some time to readjust and take this fight. Trades go down inside of the bomb site in the meantime. It's so much time has ticked away. There should be no way for Space Soldiers back into this one. And that's the round all said and done. Major just going to look to hold on to the AWP, does at least get away with it. FaZe going to find a 5th round.
Looking at the money, AWP being safe could actually be quite important for the CT side, just to make sure they get back in. Obviously, again, and another big round coming out from Rain, like winning the one, of course, before, just by being sneaky, and then somewhat, again, just going through the smoke and managing to find himself a quick double. So it is 5 and 5. We will have a buy coming back in from either side. T side with a little bit of extra cash, but neither really with the reserves to be able to purchase into the next one if things go wrong. So a crucial round in terms of who could be winning this first half. 80 nade onto Guardian as well. Oh, risky game to take, but Engine is going to be surviving here. And well, now the T's just going to look to try and barrel on towards this A site. All 4 remaining players just pushing straight out. A couple over towards the connector. Calyx has to be careful. They're getting pretty close. And actually the spray down from Chroman does a lot of damage, but the trades come back in. It's the CT side that come out with the man advantage, and the bomb yet to get into a position where they can really plant it. They need to clear out Calyx from this position. Nico does manage to find himself Paz, and they're still trying to use utility to just hold back this CT side. The fact is, they don't have much left of it, but that smoke should get them the plant.
Yeah, they're trying to assemble this boost. It's not going to come through in time, and Carrigan reads it well. Major's in with one. Guardian straight back, and now it's Engine raring to go, but Nico is going to go ahead and lock in at that 6th round for FaZe. Once again, they find themselves back in the lead. This time, notably quiet a performance thus far from Chroman. Ooh, that shot from Major. We didn't get to see it the first time around. Feels like, you know, has a tendency to miss some of the easier shots, and then it's ones like that that he really does come into his own. Regardless, that money's been broken now for Space Soldiers. Going to be the partial buy in this round. A little bit invested. Calyx has the CZ and armor. It's Engine right now who's going to get tested. Over here in apartments. Carrigan does find him, and now man advantage taken. They know that it is just a partial buy from Space Soldiers. FaZe can apply the brakes a bit.
Do still have a couple of players they've got to deal with on this side. Calyx is going to be able to find one. All the information gathered from Major as well, as he's going to be pushing around the back. That's a hell of a lot of information. They can leave 3 players here. The problem is Nico looking to pincer him from behind. However, actually, this round starts to swing a little bit. It's down to a 2 versus 2. Zintares has retrieved an AK. Okay, he doesn't have any armor behind it. And we still see Major actually looking to try and sneak in from the backlines. This kill is going to be crucial, and while Guardian quick to execute. Left onto Major. He has retrieved an AWP, but he's going to go with the Deagle, and eventually FaZe can do win the round. But it wasn't a clean one, and it took Guardian's triple to actually save them there, and he's not even going to be able to retrieve his AWP. So, still Not a flawless round, to say the least, from FaZe Clan, but they have got their 7th over on the T side. Now we get to see Space Soldiers buying back in themselves, but there's no AWP for them. However, there is an abundance of utility and a pretty decent buy overall.
Well, early on, 3 players going to be looking to try and find success here over here at the B-bomb site. Engine and Paz reside here, and Paz, of course, had that very, very commanding performance just a few rounds ago with the ace on 1 HP. Karrigan has been gifted a couple of kills over here towards B, though, in the past. This time, might find that same level of success. So he's going to fall back and pick up the bomb. Rejoins Rain down in mid. Nico's lurking up in Palace in the meantime. Imagine some of that comes from Space Soldier's tendency to go pushing into T-spawn, wanting to keep an eye on this, maintain control of this portion of the map. Guardian's going to be the first man to fall. Major actually picks one up down in mid onto Rain as well, and this round looking like it could start to fall apart for FaZe here unless a hero play can come through, and there he is. There's your hero, Karrigan, quick double. Propelled back into this round with a fighting chance. 3 versus 3, and Paz just going to go walking into Nico's crosshair. Gives him one of the easiest shots of his career, but Calic's not ready to give this round up just yet.
Man, the timing there from Paz was very unlucky just with that spot. Nico even going to take down another. He's been a menace from this Palace, and now it's all left onto Calyx. Knows where Nico is, knows where Chroman is. The fact is, can he do anything about either? Looking to try and catch out Chroman, but the fact is he's just worried about that timing from Nico, and there it is. 3rd kill comes out, a 3rd headshot of that. And FaZe Clan take their 8th. That was looking good for Space Soldiers again at the beginning of the round and at the beginning of this map. But once more, we see them win 5 rounds in a row, and they lose 5 rounds in a row.
Anyone who thoroughly enjoys symmetry will probably love that.
Well, except for the 3 at the beginning.
Yeah, you just ignore that, don't you, Tom? You see what you want to see. And, well, here's the push down mid. Rain and Guardian leading the charge. They know that the likelihood is they're going to be up against these pistols, although Space Soldiers aren't too shabby with these partial buys. Certainly aren't going to give FaZe an easy time. And now Guardian, looking a little bit lonely down in mid, does have Chroman come rotating in to help him out. And there we go. Paz going to be discovered and dealt with down on short. Once again, Mage has gone aggressively in through Palace. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Nico. And Nico showed us in the previous round, this is very much his home territory. Royalty up in the Palace. Major looks to try and dethrone him. Just going to peel away. So Major's position goes unknown for the time being. Maybe this could be Space Soldier's way into this round. If he catches the right timing as all the players head towards ramp, he could do serious damage. Starts to edge forward. Timing's going to be everything.
Push going to be coming in on towards the site. I think Major may have missed the spot here, and while Zantara is maybe about to peek into his death, however, he does manage to actually find one and drop the bomb, and now Major's position becomes more valuable because he's bought a little bit of extra time. The full rotation comes in from the CTs. They've got a man advantage as well. They've got to retrieve that bomb. There's only 20 seconds left, and this flank, here it comes. Going to be coming in from behind. Here goes Major. He doesn't hit the shots, and that is it. That would have been the chance of the round, but eventually FaZe save it. It looked like that could have all gone wrong for Space Soldiers. Oh, sorry, for FaZe Clan, it did go wrong for Space Soldiers. 9-5. Last round of the half. It is going to be the purchase in, AWP in for Major, and while the T side have everything they could ever desire, no, they're going to be looking to try and close this 10-5. And yeah, again, a sort of 5-3 down. It's another position where FaZe Clan have just been able to string rounds together, and Space Soldiers haven't been able to do much about it.
Yeah, we do at least see this full buy come through, though. As you pointed out, Major's going to have the AWP. So all the pieces of the puzzle are there for Space Soldiers. They just have to line them up. Is that the appropriate doing word for a puzzle? I don't really know. Solve it. There you go. It's going to be Zintares down in the sandwich. Calyx back in CT. Keep your eye on Paz as he tiptoes up through mid. Going to get the information that no one resides here for FaZe. Rain has just slipped past into the corner of Paz. Zintares didn't spot it. There's that aggressive position from Paz paying dividends for the side of Space Soldiers. Response, they look to go pushing on in. Rain goes waltzing out, but Zintares lines up too. Guardian going to answer back as best he can, but he's left in a 1v3. Pressure's on now, AWP in hand, the bomb down. He's going to be afforded the bomb plant at the very least. He's expended his one smoke. Now for CT, but he's going to try and take the fight with Major. If he wins this out, then there is the chance, but Major homing in on the angle, not going to let him get away with that. And Space Soldiers, they will pick up a 6 at the very end of the first half. The towel comes out, the hands are sweaty. As we head on through into the second, it's going to be 9-6, still in favor of FaZe, but Space Soldiers hot on their heels.
Yeah, again, it's sort of one of those situations where we saw a few like decent rounds for Space Soldiers. They start stringing things together, and then it's almost as if there's just a wake up for FaZe. Nico definitely rose to the occasion. And he ended the half, what, 16-7 or something? Like, he really did play well. We saw Guardian as well. So it's sort of like the completely different people to what we saw in the first map, where we're looking more at Croman, who's currently sat at the bottom of the board. We now go on to the CT side, where things are going to be very difficult. 1.01. Wow. Not many believers out there.
I tell you what, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the odds saying it's extremely one-sided. I'm not too convinced. I think Space Soldiers have a very strong Mirage up their sleeve. You might be surprised and maybe have a chance to make some money, but what can I say? Push about to come on through from Space Soldiers into the B-bomb site, and there's the opener found by Major. Ooh, that nade, so much red. Well, it transpired to anything. It's Alone Dane fighting for his life down here on short. Effectively in a 1v4, he's finally going to get polished off by Zintares. Rain goes running through, and ooh, he looks to try and be the star. He rains down death, but only good for one. It's Nico left in a 1v3.
Yeah, he has been very good in this map so far. Bomb actually still down on the ground, so he's going to be waiting patiently. He still haven't planted it yet. There's the opportunity, and he's going to take it. Finds himself one, looking to try and cross back in. Calyx from above could be a bit of a problem, and it is this sort of deadly duo. Up close will be Zintares, and I wonder if he spotted the pixel there. Never mind, he's actually going to find the kill onto Calyx instead, and Nico just gets all three. Clutches the round out from absolutely nothing. Will even go and retrieve himself a kit, and well, when this man's playing well, I think pretty much any team is screwed.
All it takes is one minor blunder. Nico comes along and steals their Thunder FaZe. 10-6. Massive turnaround there. So fast. Fastest man alive, some might say. 19-8, top of the board for FaZe. Leading the charge. Space Soldier's going to get a buy in the next round. Let's take a little bit more into pistols here and there. Looks like it might just be another fast B play, as they had a few players here rather early on. Still scary though for Nico to dismantle it like that. Take the whole round apart. He's feeling confident. Inside of this B-bomb site, one thing to consider is Carrigan, very good anchor, does have Croman joining him, and neither of them having the games of their lives right now. Croman down bottom of the board with 4 kills to his name. Of course, is the stand-in for FaZe at this event. And had a very good performance over in the previous map.
Oh, this is a good chance for Carrigan to really make some money up. That MP7. Smoke already going to be thrown in. It actually gets dinked up, so not in the strongest of positions. We are going to actually see the split coming in on towards the B. So, of course, very little invested in this round. This is all about doing damage. Taking even a gun away here would be something for Space Soldiers, as it would force a rebuy going into the next when they will have themselves the AKs. Croman hoping for a miracle with some jumping shots, but the fact is, it won't really matter either way. Calyx is left in a 1 versus 5, and Croman, just for a little bit of added confidence, is going to be able to find himself that kill. So 11-6, but here comes the early buy. Of course, the bomb went down in the previous round. So we will have the AKs coming in, or at least the majority of them, for the T's. A few flashbangs along with some smokes. Can't really go for anything too in-depth here. They don't have any Molotovs. But the fact is, over on the other side, there are still limitations, of course. A couple of SMGs, but they do win the utility battle by a country mile.
Very, very aggressive play from Calix, rushing all the way down through short. I'm not too sure FaZe is going to be ready for someone to be this deep early on. Calix does get spotted out. The bomb's even been dropped down on ramp. So Paz, try as he might to keep things into the advantage of Space Soldiers. It's been made that much harder by Rain at the ramp position. Does finally deal with him. But Nico and Guardian so fast to spring back into action, and suddenly it's Major left in a 1v3. Of course, the brains behind Space Soldiers now also is to be the muscle, the man to keep them in this round.
And the fact is, though, bomb being down in not the best of positions, and well, if it wasn't found before, it definitely has been found now. That's all the information needed. Croman's still waiting over towards B, just to make sure that nobody can sneak in from behind. Actually, Guardian somewhat alone here, but there is Croman peeking in through short. We'll be able to find the kill, so the early buy doesn't work out for Space Soldiers. And again, we just see a sort of streak of rounds coming in for FaZe Clan, with only sort of one in the middle, the one last round of the half. And that is now going to be the conversion and even an extra sort of bonus here. 12-6, 13-6 more than likely. And Space Soldiers, well, this isn't like earlier in the day. This is an elimination match. They are still in the tournament if they lose this one. They will be facing off probably a rematch versus SK. And while that probably seems to be becoming more and more likely as the rounds go on.
Yeah, this one is a bit of a write-off. There's only these pistols after all, and as proficient as Space Soldiers have been, already losing Paz is going to be pretty devastating. Although, Major has a chance to do some serious damage here. Croman is going to discover the bomb and finds a quick double, but he thinks he's cleared out apartments. Major's been allowed to slip on by, so there's definitely a chance to do damage, although he's got to do it now without the rest of his teammates. And he certainly has the position, but he doesn't have the firepower or the knowledge as to where FaZe are right now. So I think really the best he could be hoping for is he finds maybe one or two players unaware. First of which going to be Rain. Spots him heading into Palace. Knows where Carrigan is. Guardian's looking the wrong way. Everything's poised perfectly for success for Major. Carrigan's spidey senses start tingling. Nico's going to be there to finish him off. That's the 13th round for FaZe. Nice little confidence boosting round as well for Croman.
Yeah, the thing is, though, in this sort of situation, it doesn't even matter too much that he isn't having the same sort of game that we saw in the last, because there's other people stepping up to the plate. Like Guardian's having a good performance, Nico's having an excellent one, and that is more than enough at this point in time. And Space Soldiers are getting down to the sort of last chance saloon, as we're already at a 13-6 scoreline. 3 needed. Either you've got something in your eye, Harry, or you're winking at me.
No, yeah, Mosquito just flew into it. You can't even make it up, Tom. I think I'm blind. It's just in one eye, though, so we can carry on.
And just from now on, just be a bit like a pirate. You can get an eye patch.
That'd be pretty interesting as well. That'd maybe quite unique. Maybe even have a parrot. Teach it to cast Counter-Strike. Have it steal my job.
I was about to say, then you don't need me.
Tom, if it's going to replace it, it'll replace me. I just say the same 3 phrases over and over again anyway, so I basically already am. Here is double up setup being brought in by Carrigan and Guardian. Carrigan's taking one over towards that B-bomb site. That's going to be him locking it down, and Guardian with his posted down in connector. Tasked with keeping an eye on middle. And now leaves the pressure on Nico and Rain, but they're the 2 you'd want in this sort of scenario. As the set piece looks like it might come in, although Space Soldiers have now slowed right down.
Ready. Making their way up into the palace. We do have Rain currently lurking around that position. had a few high-impact rounds. Still looking like the T's are just going to set up for some sort of split towards this A site. Problem is, there's still Croman very aggressive on short. The aggression of Carrigan up with this AWP. Oh, he used to be someone I really enjoyed playing this AWP, and while the aggression from FaZe is not stopping, that second drill finds the first. Rain with another and does a hell of a lot of damage as well. See the peak coming in. Actually, Guardian missing the shot, but he's not afraid to take a little bit more as he removes Calyx from action and leaves Major and Zontares to try and turn this back. Fact is, though, Nico is about. Zontares with 23 HP. There should be no hope for him in this round. Looking like FaZe are about to take a 14th. 15 seconds left for Zontares. Can't say I believe him, well, neither does Nico.
Yeah,
24 and 8.
Zontares is a man of many talents when it comes to CS. Sadly, just spin botting to a 1v4 isn't one of them. But going to be a 14th round for FaZe. Nico with a fantastic performance right now, 24 and 8. It's going to put him on a KD of 3-1. That's some quick maths for you.
Well, by the looks of things, we are going to have Space Soldiers taking a little bit of time to try and come up with something here, but well, they're not coming up with much. They do have some severe limitations to the buy that they have going into this round. A couple of UMPs, a MAC-10, and, well, they do have a couple of rifles to boot, but the fact is, over the last few rounds, they really haven't managed anything. In fact, they haven't managed anything since they've gone onto the T side, other than that bomb plant that actually came in initially.
Yeah, it's been another stagnant second half, hasn't it, from the Space Soldiers, guys? It does feel like, you know, obviously a very momentum-based team. A lot of it resides in their confidence. The second they've started to fall behind, it's all started to fall apart for them here. And FaZe looking ever more comfortable this time. Going to be a fast play in towards this B-bomb site from Space Soldiers. Tara's keeping an eye out for mid-aggression, although sadly, Rain looking like he might try probing down ramp in the meantime. Would get all the information in the world if he does so. Swings and flashes go on in. Carrigan's holding close to CZ, his trusty ally. But it's Guardian actually to open up. Spots out Zontares over in middle. Now Carrigan and the old faithful CZ about to get tested over here at Apartments.
Yeah, has support from Croman at the bench as well, but once he realizes there's nobody close, yeah, I imagine he's going to go straight back to the AWP. The fact is, though, the T's have decided to head all the way back into middle. Try and take it in these late round scenarios. The fact is, we've sort of got the CT side just grouped up. They're finally going to look to try and take a little bit more information over towards that mid spot, but the clock is now ticking down. Utility has some limitations, and one by one they start to fall. Guardian with another double will be left onto Engine, who at least gets one with a MAC-10, but he's not going to know that Croman's still waiting. 15 and 6. Another sort of sketchy buy coming in. It can at least have AKs on the majority of players, or in fact all of them if they really want it, without some head armor. But the fact is, it's been a long time since we've seen anything. Again, bear in mind, this was 5-3 in favor of Space Soldiers, and it's now 15 and 6.
Yeah, that's not the, you know, a bit of a repeat perhaps from Inferno, Tom.
Yeah, 12 of the last 13.
When they start to lose the momentum, the confidence builds up for FaZe, things do very quickly turn sour. Major, nice little tap through the incendiary. Could need more than that, though. Especially as Guardian started to show up to the party. He's right now sitting down and Connector going to go peeking on out to try and spot Paz at the top of mid. Croman even tempts fate by peeking over the top of the boost. Let's get the information. There's players there. There's Guardian roaring to life. 4v4 FaZe looking to try and close this series out in a swift 2-0. Sending Space Soldiers back for a rematch versus SK.
There's no utility at the moment for the T side. So they're literally just going to have to try and take the fights, and that flashbang's perfect already. A couple of trades going the way of the CT side with the remaining push looking to try and come in through that connector. The knowledge is there, but Paz actually does manage to find himself a kill. Carrigan looking to try and hold on to the cross, and will find it at that. And now Calyx is left with 37 HP and a 1v2.
Yeah, bomb is down in connector. He's got to graft hard to keep Space Soldiers in this map. The series comes down to Calix, and Croman's going to find him just like that. FaZe, they're going to close this out 16-6. Pretty convincing 2-0 there versus the Space Soldiers. Winning out Inferno, originally the map pick of the Turks, and then bringing the heat as well over on Mirage. They looked good throughout, didn't they, Tom?
Yeah, and I believe that's now, FaZe going straight into the semi-final spot. So wouldn't like to be the ones matching up against them. Either way, they are looking pretty damn good, even with Croman as a stand-in. And on the first map, we actually saw him have a stellar performance as well. So yeah, realistically, now we're going to get that rematch of SK versus Space Soldiers.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot that we could look into there for either one of these teams. We're going to go ahead and give this one back to the desk. There's lots to talk about.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's Harry and Tom Bearsy casters for that one. And it was just a meager 2-0. However, there is a lot to talk about. The casters certainly are not wrong. I mean, the fact that we see FaZe once again flexing with Croman. I think there was a lot of questions, you know, about what we'd learned from their first game versus Ghost Gaming. Now we've got a bit more evidence to work with. I do have Sponge and Maniac joining me, ex-players turned analysts. Chad, I mean, this is more of a challenge for FaZe, and
they're having fun, you know. The FaZe fans, out there are having a really good time. So that's fantastic scenes here at the arena. But look, there was 2 rounds in that first half, I think, that just absolutely broke the Space Soldiers. Right, they were definitely looking hot. They looked like they could, you know, put up a pretty decent first half. When Rain rocks in through window, right, that opening kill that happens onto Guardian close to A ramp, what that signals, the information there is, hey, they're not playing a mid-centric setup here. They're playing something more devoted to that A bomb site.
Yeah.
He's taken the jump through window. He's made the way through vent room. He's been able to flank and open up that A bomb site. Only got 2 kills in that round, but they're impact frags. Going into the next round, they do an A execute. Same thing happens. Trades go off. He gets 2 kills, stabilizes the round. He wins from there. At that point, FaZe run away with the rest of that half, and it looks pretty tidy.
yeah, neat and tidy, Maniac. What are your observations from this second map here?
I mean, I agree with Chad mostly. I think one of the kind of the strengths of FaZe on Mirage is that they are gonna force you into chaotic and spontaneous situations.
Okay.
That's what they're really good at. They are good at playing those gray areas of the map, taking mid control. Even they can take control of the A side, but not plant the bomb. They're gonna force you to peek, see what's happening. They're gonna punish you. And I think this plays right into Space Soldiers' weakness at the moment.
Sure.
I think Space Soldiers is a team with a lot of like individual talent, firepower. They have a good structure in what they're doing, but they still need to learn how to react in those situations where there isn't really one way to react.
Yeah.
You know, so I think
It's not that they didn't have their chances as well. The 1v3 pistol round by Nico was absolutely huge. Right, I'm sitting there watching that going, well, Nico's won this. You know, just the way that he was able to isolate all those fights and get given 1v1s in every single situation was fantastic. That was kind of the nail in the coffin there for Space Soldiers.
Yeah.
But just one thing to note, right? We all talk about FaZe as being this individually superstarred roster here, but it's not that they go out and they will just try and be Rambo in a round. You can see that even in the last gun round, they're still flashing for each other. They're still making it easy. So when they do take those fights, they're going up always in an advantage. It's one of those positive things that usually goes without, I guess, too much. We don't really highlight it because there's the smaller details. It's very difficult to demonstrate that to the viewer at home.
And it's stuff that, of course, we'll continue to see with FaZe Clan now, of course, advanced to the semi-finals. Space Soldiers aren't eliminated, though.
Hostile crowd ahead of them here, Alex.
This is going to be scary for them. They are going to be walking out to 10,000 diehard SK fans for a rematch. And you already mentioned it. I think it was Chad, it was you on day one saying that Space Soldiers have quite the history of being SK once in a tournament, and then there tends to be a second game.
Yeah, and that's where SK make all the necessary adjustments, and that crowd is going to be roaring. In this arena, you know, we get the chance here to see what's going on, the construction that's happening right now. It's going to be
echoes.
Crazy loud in there. The construction of this venue is insane.
Yeah, we're really, I mean, the way it works just means that every sound is going to reverb everywhere. So you'll be hearing every deagle, every AWP, and every cheer during that SK Space Soldiers match. But yes, they are going to be battling once again. A couple of, just give us a taste, Maniac, as to why people should stick around for Mouse Sports versus Liquid. That's our next game. Why don't you tell the guys at home why this one's interesting?
Ooh, okay, so that's my hot match about the day.
It is, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with that. I think, barring Astralis right now, I think Liquid is as close as to the most complete roster there is right now in CSGO.
I like it, yeah.
In terms of what every individual is doing in their own role. So for me, Liquid is another source of inspiration. Let's not go that far, but I really appreciate watching Liquid play.
Yeah.
And then on the other half of the deal, we have Mouse Sports, who, even though Oscar's not here, is still firing up. So I'm ready for an explosive matchup.
Yeah, very intrigued to see if nothing can get up on the scoreboard as well. We'll find out how that one plays out after our break, because we're going to take one. When you come back, it will be last best of 3. We get to see Mouse Sports versus Liquid duking it out, doing what they do best, and you better stay tuned so you can catch all of the action here at ESL One.